and welcome to this edition of Ipsos's Creative Corner. And we have a special edition which will be sharing our views and a review of this year's Cannes Lions Festival. My name is Shaun Dix. I'm the global leader of creative excellence at Ipsos. I'm very excited to be joined by Lindsay Franke, who's our leader in the US of creative excellence. Hi, Lindsay. It's great to have you here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Awesome. And you were speaking at Cannes this year on a very important topic for advertisers, and that was diversity and inclusion. Awesome seeing you up there with some of the top people in the industry speaking about such an important thing. And of course, we have Arnaud de Beer,
Bonjour.
who's our global creative development director. And a very passionate person when it comes to Cannes. Arnaud, you do a review every single year. So this year, Cannes has finally got back to in person. So Lindsay, you experienced this year. Unfortunately, Arnaud and I were tied up. But I'll start off just asking you, Arnaud, what was it like and who won and why?
Excellent, Sean. Thanks. Yeah, we tried and to put our brains together to try and summarize this year's Cannes edition, and we came up with 4 words of our topics. And the first one would be familiar, or even using that French word déjà vu, because while it was super good for all advertisers, agencies, and production people to attend Cannes again this year, go back to the Palais, the yacht, the beaches, the parties, the awards. That was, of course, something we all enjoy, after these 2 years of COVID. And that felt, quite good and familiar, but it was a bit déjà vu as well, especially in terms of the awards, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think Burger King is one that comes to mind, and that's been debated a lot on social media. I mean, the fact of the matter is the moldy burger has been celebrated again. Maybe again is a bit too much. I don't know, but Lindsay, I think that's been a theme, right?
Yeah, you definitely saw a lot of previously awarded campaigns, things like Apple Underdogs. It's interesting to see, some of the oldies but goodies coming back, and really being awarded in a way that makes us want to celebrate more new, fresh creativity. And I think that was a lot of the conversation that was coming around Cannes as well. Like you talked about earlier, Sean, with us kind of focusing on bringing back creativity, a focus on diversity and inclusion as well. And I think, I know we saw that as well in some other areas, right?
Yeah, well, you can take P&G Turn to Call, which I had the chance to work on, something like 15 years ago, or Coinbase coming with a Super Bowl act exactly like Reddit did last year. And yeah, you mentioned Burger King, Sean. There was the more confusing times ad that got awarded again. And it's a great piece of ad, but maybe it doesn't have so much the audience in mind. At least that's what we saw when we did some research on it. So clearly a lot of repeat, a lot of déjà vu this year. But that was not the only thing.
So we had a second word, Lindsay. What's the second word?
Yeah, the second word we heard a lot about was diversity, and obviously we precluded to that a little bit at the beginning. And while this is not, necessarily a new topic that we've had at the forefront of the industry, it's certainly something that's been, elevated in terms of talking about awards and celebrating brand campaigns like fighting taboos with periods in India, the dangers of social media with Dove, the right to swim for women with Adidas, and, actually had the pleasure of hearing at the Female Quotient Lounge from some of the Adidas marketers that worked on this campaign about us really bringing diversity to the forefront and to life. And I think, one of the things that we heard a lot about this essential topic is really not only recognizing the importance of positive portrayal of women and gender equality in advertising, but one of the things that I had the pleasure of talking on our panel about at Cannes was the fact that it's not only good for the world, it's not only good to progress in the industry, but it's good for business. And I think that, to me, was something, when I think about what was really exciting about being at Cannes this year, was the ability to push something forward that's going to leave a cool legacy for all of us as we pass down this creative and ad industry to the next generation, that we're progressing something forward that's meaningful in the world and is going to help all of our clients and agencies drive a stronger ROI and drive business forward. So I think that's really exciting.
Fabulous. And I think it's, as you say, it's great to see, more and more evidence, to have the rigor and the proof that these campaigns are making a difference, as you've said, and in such a great forum like the Female Quotient at Cannes. So really, really cool.
And I think that what is great as well is that we saw that in some of the campaigns that, beyond the gender equality, which is so important, diversity was again awarded in many different ways. You can mention Google Pixel, Channel 4, MasterCard on handicap inclusion, and even talking about inclusion, leveraging Santa's sexual orientation in Norway to speak about their postal service.
When you mentioned the MasterCard campaign, when we think about one of the things we're challenging in the DEI space in this industry is really pushing, raising the ceiling and the floor, and not just thinking in a single tone, but really looking at how to build creative in a meaningful way across all different underserved groups. And you see a lot of brands leaning into that and doing that well. And I thought that was cool that that was celebrated well at Cannes.
No, very, very cool. I think this you're an important point there, and I think the Santa one was clearly unexpected. But there's a third buzzword. So we have two buzzwords so far, which is Misfits, of course. And as we know, at Ipsos, we've launched a new publication called Misfits. Very, very exciting. The author, our esteemed colleague Adam Sheridan, wrote that book over the course of last year. But what this book really does is it provides evidence, cases, and scientific rigor on how creativity and advertising can really spark brand growth. So really, really cool. And it builds a nice bridge to what Cannes trying to do, to uncover these fresh creative ideas, unexpected experiences or creative experiences, to defy this culture of conformity or conventions, as we often say. So one of my famous campaigns from Cannes this year is actually Rolf the Rabbit. And Rolf the Rabbit is directed by, and I'm sure I'm going to get the pronunciation wrong, Taika Waititi. So I know you may correct me, but it's a really cool campaign. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It raises awareness for animal cruelty, and it's done in a brilliant way. It is just amazing.
Yeah, and I think, Shaun, it's a really good point that we're seeing this like Misfits come to fruition. And one of the things that I saw, I really liked how we are starting to really communicate to the whole person. And that's one of the things we've been embodying at Ipsos, of the convergence of consumer citizen, the convergence of professional and person. And we're not just talking to consumers, we're talking to the whole person. And you see this with campaigns where we're talking about converting leather from a pineapple byproduct, and it's something that's better for the environment and for people. And so really advertisers are doing a great job at understanding more of the convergence of what people care about, not just as a consumer buying, but as kind of all of the other aspects we care about as individuals. And it's cool to see that come to the forefront at Cannes.
Yeah, you're right, and there were so many that we cannot mention on them all. So we could speak about Heineken, The Night Is Young, where it shows how cool it is to be vaccinated using some of the oldest guys that got vaccinated first and who could party. Or one piece of creative that we talked about it already in the Christmas Creative Corner, Penny, which really sparked a debate in Germany about the time our teenagers have lost during COVID, with a very bold and original campaign, even if quite polarizing.
Yeah, great story. So, guys, what's our last word for Cannes?
I would say it's freedom, because one of the things that we've seen this year is how Cannes Lions as an organization has been shaken. There was Greenpeace was demonstrating, and while it's a fantastic commercial success, and even that more and more clients and people are generally attending, whether online or face-to-face this time, there's kind of a decline in terms of awards entries, because, one of the things that happens is that everything is more and more monetized, and only the biggest, the richest brands and agencies can attend and compete. And while we know that Cannes Lion is trying to address that in many different ways, there was this initiative from Love the Work More, which shows how an agency and the creative community in particular are trying to find ways for free access to creativity within Cannes.
Yeah, and I think what's great in that 2021 initiative, it was, received a bit coldly, as we know, but it got awarded a Bronze Lion in PR this year. And I think, it goes to show pushing the envelope a little bit. Sometimes it takes some time for the adoption. So that was neat to see.
Definitely, I love that. It's one of my favorites. So we agree that's certainly our Ipsos Titanium Award winner. So what do we keep in mind on a?
So I would say, push for Misfits advertising. We've seen that when you do that, it offers a fresh take. When you have a fresh take on the creative idea and the creative experience, when you develop creative work that resonates with people, then it's paying off. So feel free to ask our Ipsos colleagues around the world if you want to learn more about Misfits and how we can help there.
Yeah, and I think, also something to keep in mind, while the DEI term's thrown around a lot, for me, it's about the authentic representation and positive portrayal of people and understanding the whole person. We've gotten a lot of learnings with GEM that we've done in partnership with ANA and TFQ, but even going beyond that, of thinking about that convergence of consumer, citizen, patient, person, professional, and really keeping that in mind to spur great creativity. And our Ipsos team has a lot of, experience to help there, but I really think keeping in mind, letting the sky be the limit and continuing to raise the ceiling and floor in terms of how we portray individuals, for sure.
Absolutely, so right. So absolutely, and let's not forget to free Cannes and creativity. I think you've both spoken about that, some great cases. And Arno, you will have a full review. I think sometime in August, probably end of August, for our teams to share with clients that are interested in learning more about that. That's always a great review. I love that.
That will be for free as well.
Yeah, and of course, our teams around the world at Ipsos Creative Excellence are there to help you drive and unleash your creativity and advertising to help spark brand growth. And as Lindsay said as well, if you have challenges in diversity and inclusion, we know it's not an easy topic to get right. We have tons of experience now, and we're welcome to enter in a conversation with you. So guys, this has been great. Thanks, Lindsay, for joining us, and
Thanks for
to the
having
next
me.
one. Thanks a lot.
Right.
Thank you.
See you guys. Bye
Take care.
bye. Au
Ciao.
revoir. Ciao.